Yes, hello. Good afternoon. I hope you're more than fine. This is teacher Yusuf. Um, well, I will not waste more time. Let us go directly to what we are supposed to do. The last time we were here, we basically looked at we were looking at letter writing, and in letter writing, we are looking at the official letter, writing an official letter. Um, Previously, we looked at the writer's address, the date, then the receiver's address. Then we looked at the salutation, but the reference and in the salutation. Now today we want to build on the body. Now the body is the widest because whatever we put in the body decides whether we get that job or not. So the way you frame your body is very important. How you start it from the time up to the time you end it. Now remember that the body is made up of different parts. In most cases, you'll find that the body should be precise, should be as short as possible. So we are looking at the body and we said it should be precise. eh. This body has the message as to why you have written this letter. It has the reason for writing the letter. So the way you package it depends. Are you getting the job or not? If you're not getting the job, it will all depend on the body. So we are saying that the body can be written in three paragraphs. In three paragraphs. And we are going to look at them. Each paragraph, what does it have? So let us first look at this. When we begin, remember we have finished the reference. So once we finish the reference, what's the next thing? The next thing is to which line, the first part of that is the first paragraph. Which that line must be in reference to the reference that has been made. What was your subject line? No, what was the reference? The reference was application, applying for a job or applying for the post of manager or applying for post of human resource. The reference here must be I hereby submit, I humbly submitting my application for the post of. So you see, it is referring to this to that line up. So that's why they're telling you that the first line must be in reference of, or it should be reference to, in reference of the reference. It should refer to what it should agree with it. If the reference is applying for a job of applying for the post of maybe of human resource officer, that means even your first line here must be the same. We are going to look at it. Then they're telling us here that the first paragraph should be short and introduces you and the reason. That's why you are saying, I am writing to apply, or I hereby apply or submitting my application for the post of. I humbly submitting my application for the post of. You go directly, don't greet. Because remember, I told you the other time, this is a person you don't know. And even if you know this one, you are writing this person formally. So they're telling you the reason would be applying, it could be complaining, it could be requesting for something, it could be making an inquiry. We're going to look at them. If you are writing an application letter, how should it be? If you are writing a complaint, how should it be? If you are writing a request or making an inquiry, how is it going to be? We're going to look at them in detail. So let us look at the first paragraph there. They're telling us the body that has the message. Just a minute, I'm going to explain. For applications, you should use simple words like an example. If you're writing an application, your first line there should be, I humbly submit in my application for the post of human resource. That line alone, do not add anything. That should be the last. If you can also say, I hereby submit my application for the post of, still the same, you put the post that you want. You can also put it in the present continuous. I am writing to apply for a scholarship, because you also, maybe you are writing to apply for a grant or a scholarship or anything. You can still use the same lines. So when you are writing this, it should only stop there. Now look at this. I'm writing to apply for a scholarship for my master's studies at maybe this university. I hereby submit my application for the post of dash dash and dash. Have you understood? So this is how we are supposed to. This is how we are supposed to frame the what? This is how we are supposed to frame the our the first paragraph of an informal letter, of a formal letter. Remember, A formal letter is not wordy. It doesn't have a lot of words. So do not, because we are going to see that a lot of our information that they need is usually put in the CV, not in the application letter. That's why you see the first line is that one. So let us look at the second one. Now, supposing the first one was you're applying for, the first one is that you're applying for a job. Okay. What about this one here? We are for inquiries. They're telling us for inquiries about anything. You could use simple words like, what is to inquire? To inquire is to ask. You want to ask for some information. You want to ask for some details. An example, you write to Eastern College and you want to find out if they're still admitting. Eh? You leave this way of people just calling to find out. Formally, people are supposed to write letters. Only that the world is getting getting confused with this. That's why people are no longer having jobs, because they think I'll just call and that is okay. Formally, when you inquire, in most cases, it comes in a formal way. So with the info, with an inquiry, what do? You say, I'm writing to inquire about the date when the new semester will maybe begin. I'm writing to find out if my letter has been received by your, maybe you wrote a letter and now you have taken long without receiving any response. So you write. So that is for inquiry. The first one was for applications. The second one is inquiry. Remember, we're only looking at the first line, that first line. Another one could be, we could also write about requests. You want to request for something. Maybe you are the class monitor, or you are the president, or you are president of a school, or you are a storekeeper, and maybe you are a store manager, and now you want to there is something that is not enough in the store, so you want to ask the procurement office to provide. You have to do it formally, not only by speaking, by word of mouth. So you could use such. So they're telling you that for request you could use simple words like, I'm writing to request for information about the charges for full English syllabus. An example, you want to join Eastern College. You want to find out more information about how much it would cost you to cover the whole English syllabus here at Eastern College. This is how you would also frame your first paragraph of the formal letter. Or you could say, I have written this letter to raise a complaint about, now this one is coming, it should be under the complaint. We're going to look at that complaint, the next one there. You see, that one. This one is under complaint. Well, if you are writing a complaint, how do you do it? For complaints, you could use simple words like this. A complaint is when there's something that's not proper and you want to put it right. An example, you're at school, your classroom is no longer clean. Don't just talk and go to the manager's office and you just, no, we are supposed to do it in an organized way. I am writing to complain about the smell in our classroom. As simple as that. Then the next paragraph, that's when you give in your more details. You can say, I've written this letter to raise a complaint about our teachers coming late for classes. That should be enough for the first line. The next should be put in the second paragraph. So all these first lines are quite important. If you don't use these lines very, very well, remember, me as a secretary who's receiving your letter, if there is any mistake in your letter, when I receive your letter, let me tell you the power of a secretary. When a secretary, you remember you're writing to the boss or you're writing to the human resource officer, but this letter first passes through the secretary. The secretary receives the letter, opens it because they have the power, but their job description gives them the power to open up these letters before these letters reach the boss. So they have to open up the letters, read through. If there is any mistake, your letter will never, the boss will never see your letter. The boss will never see your letter. So you'll find that if there is any mistake, it will only stop here at the secretary. And where will it be? The dustbin. So they open the letter, any slight mistake, the poor writing of the address or missing the date or this, even before they read the body, in the dustbin. Or the introduction phrase of the body. How have you introduced? Your reference is saying something else, your body is saying something. The introductory remark is also talking about something else. She will just do that, or he will just do that and throw it here. So you see how important every part of the letter is. So please, when we are writing this, we have to be very, very careful. So this is what we are saying. Most people these days don't have jobs, and they don't know why they don't have jobs. It's because such skills are lacked in there. They don't have such skills, and this is quite important for us. So you can, if instead of just saying teacher is coming late, write a complaint, because there might be a reason. Me as a teacher, I don't have to explain to you, but I have to explain to the manager. So when you are able to complain to the manager will get to me as a teacher and say, I think there's a problem with the class. These days, the lessons you are started late or this and that. So this is where we are at. So when we look at these ones here, this is what we are talking about when we talk about the body. Remember, I told you the body has very many different parts, and if we are not careful, we'll end up making very many mistakes. So the first one, we have looked at them. If it is a complaint, we have looked at if it is a request. We have said if it is an application letter, if it is it can also be an apology. I did not put an apology there. You apologize for something. How do we write all this? Eh? Okay. So basically, that's what we are. This is what we are trying to say. Now, let me go in for our for the next part of that second part of the letter. The next part of the letter is very simple. It's now the second paragraph. It is quite long, but it is important that we listen to it. So the second paragraph, that is still within the body. So what is the second paragraph? The middle, that is the middle, because I told you it is usually 3. So the middle paragraphs of the letter should provide enough information for the reader to develop a good understanding of the situation. By just reading the second paragraph, I'm able already to know what this person wants. Remember, the first time I was supposed to know was in the reference. The second one was the introductory remark. Now the third one is the paragraph. So what is the paragraph telling us? They are telling us that most letters in English are not very long. So don't write very long, because we don't want to read nonsense. So keep the information to the essentials. That is the important. Essential means important. And concentrate on organizing it in a clear and logical manner rather than writing too much. I don't want to read nonsense. I want to read the points. I want to read the points. So remember, if you want to put more information, I told you yesterday, it will be put in the CV. That's why I tell you, remember, more information about your experience is written in the curriculum vitae, not here in the letter. Don't write about all this and that in this cover letter. This is like a cover letter, because this cover letter usually is written to accompany the what? Usually written to accompany the CV. So let us look at this, the paragraph. So they're telling you, give the reasons why you are interested in working for the company and why you wish to be considered for that particular post. Why do you think you are the best human resource manager? Why do you think you are the best teacher? Why do you think you are the best store manager? Why do you think you are the best cook? Why do you think you are the best technician? This is what they want. So they're telling you, state your relevant qualifications. So in the second one, in the second paragraph, after the first line, in the second one, talk about who you are. How? I am a male. Talk about your gender. I'm a male Somali, aged this. As simple. Look at that. I'm a male Somali. What have you handled? 3 things. I am a male Somali, aged 25. Male, gender, nationality, the age. You have already covered all this in one simple line. So they are telling you, state your qualifications. We are going to look at that. Which qualifications? What's the first thing? Even before they look at the CV, even before they look at your qualifications, just briefly highlight your qualifications here. So talk about your qualifications and experience, as well as your personal. When you talk about the personal qualities, are you good at working working in a team? Are you responsible? Are you result oriented? All this could be put here. And those are the things that make any person to be given a job. Okay, let us look at the other part. An example: if you want to write application letters, if you are writing, if you're first in the first line, if they are talking about applying for a post of human resource manager or applying for the post of this, you will continue like this. If you're a female, you can say, I'm a female Somali, age 23, and a finance and accounting graduate. Finish. You have not talked about the university, you have not talked about your school, because all that goes to the CV. I believe in making work as easy as possible. That's all the personal quality. and you only state it briefly. Supposing you're a male, I'm a male Somali, aged 25. I'm a software engineer graduate with an experience of 2 years in software development. I'm a result-oriented person, and you continue. Then, in this same paragraph, after briefly talking about yourself, we also include a small paragraph that introduces the person reading, to inform this person that I have attached. The word attached means with this letter there is another paper that has my CV. So that's why you say attached is my CV. Attached is my CV. That means you are telling this person, if you I've only given you something small. If you want to read more about me, go and look at my CV. Have you understood? Then again, we look at something. If it is complaints, if there are complaints, what do you do? If there are complaints, you also come in like this. Remember the other one? I've written to complain. I've written to complain about our teachers coming late for our lessons. Now here, that was the first line. Now the second line, this is where you're giving more information. How? For the past 2 weeks, our teachers have reported to classroom more than an hour late, thus reducing on the time we have for our lessons. These are all ways you could remember the first line. After the first line, you skip one line, then you go to the second paragraph. Supposing it is about the smell in the classroom. Here, for the past 1 week, our classroom hasn't been cleaned, and it has as a result started to produce an unbearable smell. This has affected our learning environment, that we can no longer study very well. This is in reference to the other line that you made about the classroom not being cleaned. Do you see that? This is what they are telling you. Organize them logically. Organize them logically, so that one leads to the other, one leads to the other. Supposing it is a what? Supposing it is maybe a request, you also do the same. There are very many different ways. So basically, when we talk about this, just a minute, I'll take you back to that one. We can also write the same for the requests. We can also write the same for the for apologies. When you apologize, an example, the first line, the other side will be, I humbly apologize for not attending school for the past 1 week. Finished. In the second line, you give us now your reason. I did not manage to attend the class last week because I was attending to my sick mother. I was the only person who could attend to my mother, and therefore my father told me that I wouldn't be able to attend school. As simple as that. So when you do that, it will be very, very simple. My dear friends, today we have looked at the body. And the body, we have only looked at two parts. We have looked at the first part and the second part. That's the first paragraph and the second paragraph. Tomorrow, we shall look at the third paragraph and also the remaining part of the letter. After that, we shall now come in and build the full letter. So remember, it is quite important that we go slowly, because when you go very fast and you cannot capture anything, it will be a disaster. Thank you very much. Until then, I remain Teacher Yusuf. Allah bless you.